Now it's live. Now you're good.
All right,
Go
all right,
ahead.
all right. Hey guys, this is going to be an exciting day. We're actually on location at Huemn, and that is an optimization and cryo center. So, I'm Uchenna. Welcome back to the Champions and Legends Weekly Warrior Happy Hour. And Champions and Legends produces CBD-based sports supplements for athletic preparation, performance, and recovery. And the Weekly Warrior Happy Hour brings together gym owners, trainers, pro and amateur athletes, and healthcare professionals like PT, physical therapists, chiropractors, nutritionists, and we talk about best practices of preparation, performance, and recovery. We talk about CBD, and we get tips on how to be the best version of ourselves as regular people, just like you and me, active people, getting out there and trying to be outdo ourselves each time we hang out. So I'm just like beside myself. I'm ready to go here. I want to bring on Bill Hanks, and he is the owner and founder of Huemn. Come on, Bill. Pleasure to see you, man. Thank you so much for having me out, man. Because this is cool. Because I'm here, and I've only done one other live like this.
Right.
And I'm here. This is
This
exciting.
is like the playground for the athlete.
Absolutely,
This is where
absolutely.
you get to come and get better. Learn new things and all that stuff.
Absolutely. I'm ready to learn, man. So tell me about Huemn.
Okay, so Huemn Optimization and Cryo Recovery. We would call ourselves kind of a wellness center. We really like that optimization aspect of it.
Right.
You were talking about we all want to be the best version of ourselves, and I think as we are in this journey of life, right? Why would we want to settle to meet half of what we were intended to be, right?
Exactly.
So why not optimize? Why not feel good? Why not, be the best person that you can? So that's really what we're about. We do so many things here that we'll talk about. We'll get back and show you some of the services and whatnot. But it's really a different look on health and just the whole way to recover, right? So recovery is just now coming up. We hear about it all the time with LeBron James and some of the top athletes are first thing they talk about is recovery. So they get done with an event and they are already thinking about how they're going to recover.
Well, actually, you think about it. An athlete performs 2 to 3 hours in a game, right? 2 to 3 hours. They practice every day, but the rest of the time, even after practice, they are recovering just as much as they're practicing, and far more than they're actually in the performance mode. Right.
And I think even in normal, people out there, it's very easy to overtrain, right? And we can go and push ourselves. We see the Nike commercial, and it's like the guy lacing up his shoes at 4 a.m. to go run, 20 miles just for that day. And we think that's what's good, And a lot of people come in and tell me oh yeah, I work out every single day. You work, that's so good. I'm like, no, not really. You're probably not getting the recovery that you need. And that's how I got into this business. I was overtraining. I was doing too much and realizing that I was breaking my body down. And I had to take a step back, and I, sought out a lot of other therapies. And when I found cryotherapy, it was one of the key modalities that we do here. That just changed everything for me. I was like, oh wow, there's a different way to handle my health and reduce inflammation and feel better and focus on that recovery. So. That's what led us into that. So, when people say, well, what is Huemn? I would say, we're a place where somebody can come and reduce inflammation, feel better, recover. And, you don't have to be an athlete to need recovery. We all have,
Oh, absolutely.
We all have stresses, right? And we have daily stress and whether it's our job or whether, it's family at home, whatever it is, we always have stress, and we need a place that, or some way that we can settle back down, get back into our recovery state. Our nervous system has two sides where it's either stressed or it's recovering. And so much in modern day environment, we're in that stress state. You know,
Oh yeah, stress mode, right?
Yeah.
All the time. Got to be there. Got to get it done. Got to, take care of this, take care of that.
Yeah.
And that's stress.
Traffic, stoplights,
Right.
all that stuff. So
Right. So you get all kinds of folks here.
all kinds of folks.
It's not just pro athletes show
It's
up.
not just pro athletes, just like you know, with CBD and whatnot. It's not just for the pro athletes, it's for
Right.
everybody, right? We all need to reduce inflammation. I mean,
Right.
inflammation has been linked to every cause of every disease there is, right? I
That's
mean, whether
true.
it's cancer, diabetes, you name it. I mean, they go, okay, well, what happened? Well, it's this chronic inflamed state that our body's in, and it's usually in that state when it's stressed, right?
Right.
So, how do you get it out of stress? How do you, get back into that recovered state so you can perform better, you feel better, be a
Right.
better version of yourself?
Okay, so tell me about your athletic journey. Like, what were you doing? What were you doing that got you to be over training and all this stuff? What were you doing?
Okay, so, I mean, growing up, you probably won't believe this, but I grew up in Wyoming, and we do rodeo. So that's what I did. I did
calf
rodeo.
wrestling and
right, yeah.
Bronco busting and stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
So that's kind of what I did. That's how I grew up, but when I moved to Houston, stay active, I was doing CrossFit. So you have some CrossFit athletes on your team, and so and that was where in the beginning with CrossFit, it was great. I was like getting gains, feeling good. Everything was going well, and then like after probably like 2 years of just training hard, then all of a sudden I start having these injuries. Start having like all these problems. I'm no longer getting gains anymore in the gym, and I'm having tendonitis problems and like all these things
that you had never had before.
And I just wasn't recovering.
Okay.
But what I was told, I went like the normal traditional medical route was like, went to doctors, I was given prescriptions and given things like anti-inflammatories, and it's like, man, I'm like, this is not solving anything, and I didn't know I was overtraining until later on, but they didn't know either. I'm thinking, oh, I'm healthy, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, I'm working out, why? And the solution to them, to me, was I was going to have to do surgery on my knee, and I was going to have to take the anti-inflammatories or stop being active. That was the other thing. I'm like,
can't stop. That's the last thing you want to do is stop.
So none of those sounded like a good option. So that's when we decided. That's when I found cryotherapy, and then I was like, man, this really works. And I'm actually an engineer, and that's my background. And so I worked in the oil and gas, and what we would do was optimize wells and optimize them. Like, we'd have dashboards, and we'd be able to look at things and find out what's the best way to operate this well. What was funny is like we do all this stuff for like an oil well, but we don't do this for our own bodies. We don't optimize our own bodies, right?
Right.
So and we're damn sure more important than an oil well, right?
True enough.
So,
no us, no well.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So I just see like, okay, well, this is something that we can do and help other people out, and that's when I kind of shifted my focus from being a worker bee to being an entrepreneur.
Right. And helping people. There's a whole level of contribution that goes with what you do here.
Yeah.
And that's really why we're here, right?
Yeah.
Just to contribute.
Yeah, it really has. It's just how the trickle down effect, right? Where you change somebody from not feeling good all the time to where they start being able to be active again, and sometimes it makes that trigger where they reduce inflammation, and then all of a sudden they're working out at the gym, and then all of a sudden they're losing weight and they're feeling that confidence, and they're better. Like for me, when I'm healthier, I'm a better husband, right? So that's better.
Exactly.
I'm better for my wife and my kids and all that stuff. I'm more patient with them and stuff. So it trickles down. You think about it. It's just if we can all be better versions of ourselves and healthier, we're gonna be better, in this world. So.
And we're looking to do that. Now, if you guys watching, if you can hear us well. If you can't hear us, go ahead and put a message up. Let us know that you can't hear us, because we'll talk a little louder. But show me what you do.
All right, well,
All right.
come over here. This is kind of the main recovery area, as you can see right here. We've got chairs lined up, and what we do in these chairs is we do Normatec compression therapy. It's a really good passive modality because you just hang out in the chairs, and then these boots compress your legs. And what we'll do, we'll show real quick. You want to jump in here?
Yeah. You want me to just
Take off your shoes real quick. And basically put these on
here.
Oh, right there.
Okay,
fine.
just-
Yeah, put these on like a pair of boots.
Very stylish.
Yeah, you could wear these out, in the club if you
Yeah,
want to.
take them to the club. High boots, baby, high boots.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, so what this is going to do is it's going to compress your legs, and the best way to describe it is it's like a tube of toothpaste, right? You want to do from the bottom. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to aid the heart blood movement. So your heart is moving all the blood, right?
Right.
And while it's pumping it around, it's got to come all the way from your foot and push on. It takes a while, right?
Right.
So sitting in this sitting down position and having your legs up, and then these compression systems on, which will start right now, and it'll start compressing from the feet, the ankles, shins, knees, and it'll help the blood move up, right? So, if you've worked out or anything and you need to move the blood around because, it's got to get filtered through the organs, and it's got to remove the toxins, and it's got all that whole process. And when you can do that faster, but with the aid of this, you're going to help remove all those waste and all that stuff without the heart having to pump it back. So what's the name of the game when you're working out? It's all about recovery,
Right.
And so
just so you know, I can feel it tightening up on my feet first.
Mhm.
So I can feel it now starting to move tighter and tighter going up the leg. So that's exactly what you were saying.
So like I said, just like a tube of toothpaste. Usually a session's about 20 minutes is what somebody will do it. I mean, you can do it longer; it doesn't hurt you at all. It's just a real nice way to relax. I mean, you can tell that
I'm relaxed. I'm totally relaxed.
And my favorite thing is to take a pair of these at home and watch a little bit of TV and sit back on the couch. I'm telling you what, that's good. Have a drink. Easy.
Yeah, hang loose.
Yeah, for sure.
I can feel it. It's progressively. It's keeping the tension down at the bottom, and then progressively moving. I can feel it moving right up my legs. Yeah.
So it's just helping with lymphatic drainage, all that. One person that's real big on compression is Tom Brady. Tom Brady talks about compression all the time. He wears those infrared compression pajamas or whatever they are.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's because you're just helping that whole process, getting everything held faster.
Yeah.
These things. I mean, if you pretty much any sports athlete you see anymore has got a set of these, and they're packing them with them now, and they've even got some smaller ones that you can take with you, and real nice if you're traveling, right? So if you're on a plane and you know how your feet get swelled up on a plane.
Big time.
Yeah.
And I have had that happen.
Yeah.
I had actually an injury and I had to travel, and the swelling was out of control.
Really?
After traveling, by plane
injury, right.
to the place. It wasn't so bad until I started.
Yeah, we had Hakeem Olajuwon come in here. He came in here when we first opened because we were one of the first places to have this stuff. And we helped him order a pair of these because that's what he wanted for was flying, because he flies from London to Houston a lot, and so
15 hours.
Yeah, so I'm sure putting these on when you're flying, and it was funny. He was like, man, we didn't have none of this when I was playing ball.
Man.
I was like, oh yeah.
I tell you, when I was running track, man.
Yeah.
Here's some ice. Here's some heat, and an aspirin, and call me in the morning. Let me know how you're doing. That's about it. Maybe a little, what is it called?
Icy hot, or they had a lot of
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Icy hot, some different things like that. But now it's just high tech everything. Okay. What else we got? So
all right, so that's kind of that. I mean, usually we let you sit a little bit longer, but we want to show everybody around and all that. So we'll keep moving.
Cool. All right. Go. Right. Okay. what else we got? What else we got?
So yeah, we'll just kind of show you around. We have, if you want to come over here, Kate, real quick, and show this real quick. What this is.
Yeah, go on in there.
What this is it's photobiomodulation and it's light therapy. Basically looks like a tanning bed, but this is actually the good light. It's not harmful UV light. It uses red and near infrared light. And if you remember back to biology class in high school, we have our cells, and then there's little mitochondria in our cells, and that mitochondria what makes our energy and makes what we call ATP, adenosine triphosphate. And what that does is it helps us have the energy for our body to do everything that it's supposed to do. So we need energy to help with cellular repair. We need energy to do all of our normal functions. And the more energy we have, the better we feel and the better we perform. And so what this light does is in the mitochondria and what they call the electron transport chain, it goes to a place called cytochrome C oxidase. This light does, and it releases the reactive oxygen species that's there and gets more oxygen get to the cell and helps that electron transport chain produce more ATP. So you get a better production of ATP, but it's really good for healing, really good for aging, really good for skin, longevity. I mean, we've seen it help people with skin conditions, and it's just a great modality for all around health.
Yeah.
You know? And
so you keep saying longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about longevity.
So it gets back to what we were talking about, inflammation, right?
Right.
So and aging is the accumulation of insults. So like more insults, and as we get older, we have kind of the breakdown of our DNA, and our telomeres get shorter, and then what happens is we start to get inflamed, and we start to get inflammation, and that just kind of like that builds and that builds and that builds. So inflammation is one target that you can go after to keep that process from breaking down, right? Because you always want cellular repair, and you always want repair, and you don't want errors. And what happens when your telomeres get shorter is you start to get errors, and then that cell divides. Because our cells, we got 30 trillion cells, and they're dividing all the time. Divide.
So if you have a damaged cell and it's repeating itself.
Yes, exactly.
Damaged.
And that's where tumors come into play and all that. So like inflammation contributes to those cells when they're making those errors.
Oh, okay.
And so like keeping that cellular energy up and keeping the mitochondria healthy and keeping inflammation low is going to keep those errors, and it's all limiting the damage. And that's really what you're trying to do.
Limit the damage.
Yeah, limit the damage, because we're constantly being exposed to stressors in our life,
Toxins.
So if you can limit the damage, keep inflammation tamped down, you're going to do a lot better. That's what
age gracefully.
Yeah,
gracefully.
And really, I mean, they're talking, like us right now. I mean, we've got a good 40, 50 years left. I mean, if nothing happened, but with the advances in science and tech, we can have another 100 year left. So
if you're here and you're at the worst you could be, it can be a miserable existence.
Right. And what we're really about is like, you can increase the age that you live to, great, but what about your health span?
The quality.
Like, I mean, who wants to not, be able to walk and be able to do the things that you enjoy, but live longer, right? So we're really about, having a higher quality of life. And I mean, you can do that right now. You reduce inflammation. I mean, you're already feeling better. You're sleeping better. You're happier, all that stuff. So you're right now in the moment already feeling better and enjoying life more. So.
Well, show me more, man. Show me more.
All right. Come on in here. So, this is what we call local cryo, and This is
Local cryo.
yeah, cryotherapy.
Okay.
And we can do a couple things with this. So, number one, that probably get the most use out of this is doing a facial.
Okay.
So, what we do is have somebody lay here, and we have a technician with you, and we do a facial. And I won't do that, but I'll show you kind of like how it feels. You see here, it's got CO2. I think it might be running out, but you kind of feel it. See how that's cold?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we can spot treat an area, and what it does, there it's getting cold now.
Oh wow, that's really cold. Yeah.
And what that does is that cools down the tissue at the skin level, not down deep. And this is how it's different than icing. So we're just cooling down just the topical area. And what that does is your skin and the cells on the outside go through what they call vasoconstriction. And so they contract and they like push all the blood away, right?
Right.
Because they're contracted because they're thinking that they need to, survive an event, right? And so it contracts, and then when it warms back up, you get what they call vasodilation. And so like all this blood flow flows back into the area. So if you have an injury, it allows new blood flow to that area. And that's what it's all about when
Right.
you've got a sprained elbow, a sprained ankle, anything like that. You're about trying to get blood flow there. And new
So
blood
you
flow.
use it on the face, but you also can use
Yeah.
it like at spot areas where there's chronic pain.
And so just like I was describing, like on the face, that increases blood flow to the face. Well, what's in blood flow is collagen. And collagen, that's what everybody's after as they age, because
Right.
that keeps the skin plump, keeps it smooth, it helps with lines, does a real good job of just helping you
Right.
look better, feel better, all that.
And for you viewers out there, Bill is 320 years old, and
That's
so
right.
he's been using all of these. He's been using all of these
Tells you
treatments.
longevity.
It's longevity. It's crazy. It's just crazy. All right, what else you got? What else you got?
We do cryo body contouring, and if you're a little bit familiar with how cold works, and it creates brown fat. There's brown adipose tissue they call fat, and then there's white fat and white adipose tissue. And as we're babies, we have the brown fat, but as we age, we don't have that cold exposure, so we convert more to white fat, right? And so what this does is it's a body contouring device, and it helps do exactly that, create that brown fat. And brown fat's more dense, it's more compact, and it can actually kind of go into, like, if you have like an area like love handles or front
Love handles,
right? You can spot treat that and kind of like convert it over to that and go through like apoptosis, and those cells kind of go away, and you can just target treat for fat. So
I've been hearing about this.
Yeah. So there's cool sculpting. You probably have heard about that.
Yeah,
that's probably one of the most popular devices out there. But this one's a little bit different. It's like that one. There are paddles that you put on you, and then it kind of like sucks the skin up there, and then it cools it down that way. This one here is more of a technician applied service, where you have somebody work with it. It kind of kneads and manipulates the skin and the fat cells, and it just kind of like targets a whole area. So I like that a little bit better, because you've seen pictures and you can look at them online on the cool sculpting, like where they set that paddle, it'll just like suck up in that area, and there'll just be a divot right there. Versus like a more balanced approach where a technician applies it all around in the area, so it looks more natural too. So
Yeah, we want it looking natural. We
Yeah,
want it looking
we
good, right?
we want it look good.
Absolutely. So what else you got? What else?
All right, so let's.
What about that deal you said something? It was
Yeah,
yeah.
let's go check that out.
I did get a little to it earlier. But this is some good stuff for you to see. Good stuff for you to see.
All right, so this here is more advanced compression and lymphatic drainage. It's the Balancer Pro. It's an FDA-approved device. It's all got 21 chambers, and it's all balanced around your lymphatic system. And if you don't know what your lymphatic system is, it's a way that you get waste out of your body. So if you have a workout, or if you're trying to lose weight, anything like that, this is really going to help aid that process, because you sit in it. Here, you chin it. Here, I'm going to show you real quick.
Let's do it.
Slides, go ahead and
slide in, so
Yeah,
like sleeping
slide in
bag.
there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Gonna slide in here.
Yeah.
Look at that.
You zip it up here. Now this one's a little bit longer and it goes up, and the reason it goes up higher than the other compression is because it's more of a medical treatment with just the lymphatic system. The other one is more around compression, right?
Right.
So this one here will squeeze.
Very stylish.
Yeah, very cool. I mean, you could wear these ones out to the club too. So,
Yeah.
both of them. And so again, it compresses and it kind of flows from the bottom up, and you can see that it kind of compresses up, and your lymphatic duct is up here. So when you compress from all the way down here, it's working with the lymphatic system, getting it all the way up there. And so
Towards the exit.
right. So where, this works really well is like after training, because when you're training, you're tired, but you don't want to just sit down. So you and I were talking about this. The last thing you want to do after doing a leg workout is go sit on a plane and,
5 hours,
do
right?
nothing. In fact, I did this last summer. I drove up to Wyoming and I did like a hard workout the day before. And then, the next day I rode in the truck, 12 hours.
Oh.
And you can imagine how I felt when I had got out of the truck after 12 hours.
Probably could barely walk.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't that hard of a workout, but when you sit and do nothing, you have no way of getting all that waste out, right? And what this does is it just works with that whole system, getting that waste out, helps aid that process. So.
But does it push the lactic acid out?
Lactic acid and waste, it's the lymphatic system is just all of our water retention. So you could say lactic acid. Lactic acid's kind of just thrown out there all the time, but it's just all of the waste and water and all that stuff. So like people who have hold a lot of water, and you can kind of tell, you can see people, they do this and they'll lose like 5 pounds in one session.
Whoa.
Yeah, in one session of doing this, because they're just flushing all that water weight out. Sometimes your lymphatic system doesn't work that well, and people, you can kind of tell some people are real puffy,
Like bloated.
Yeah, and they'll put these on and first of all, they can barely sit through a whole session because in about 20 minutes they're having to use the bathroom. Because it's just
Glad I went before we started this, but I can actually feel a lot more activity than in the Normatec. I feel a lot more going on here, and of course you can see I'm getting stiffer because it's actually all right.
And like I was saying, we're in Houston, Texas. This is these are in the Texans' locker rooms, and they bought 12 of these and put them in their locker rooms. And DeAndre Hopkins is a big. He doesn't play for him anymore. But he's over in Arizona. But he was a big user of these. In fact, he's got some videos of him using it and stuff like that. So, it's really good advice.
But I can feel it moving right up, man.
It would put you to sleep. I tell you what, nothing feels better than coming here and just sitting.
Yeah.
And when I've had a long week, I'll come in here on a Sunday and just put these on and just kick back and relax, and it feels good.
After doing the big freeze.
Yeah, after doing the big freeze. So let's talk about that.
We got to talk about the big freeze. I've been kind of hoping to keep the conversation going.
Right.
Maybe we forget about the big freeze.
No, we can't forget that. That's the whole fun part there.
Slide out.
Wow.
This is
And I got one more thing I want to show you, and then we'll go back and freeze. Okay, you can come over here. So what this is it's a DC electrostimulation device, and basically the best way to describe this is it's the reverse of a stem. So it's, E-stem contracts the muscle, right? And so what this does is it elongates the muscle. So it's the same signal your brain sends when it tells it to go in an extension, right?
Right.
So and what this works really well on it is old past injuries and people who for instance, say you get in a car wreck and you hurt your shoulder real bad. Well, if you have that injury, your muscles, maybe on your front delt, become real tight, and they start to protect that joint, right? Because they're worried, getting that pain signal, and so they'll stay in that position, and they'll never know how to go back to their original state, and so that joint will no longer be sitting in the pocket that it used to, and it'll start, being up forward in it because those muscles are pulling it, and then starts to rub, right, and then pretty quick you start having tears and problems with it and aches and all that stuff. So how this works is we use that DC current, and when it puts that muscle in the elongated pattern, it sends a signal to the body that it's in the pain. So if you had that muscle in contraction, and then you send the signal that it's doesn't want to go there, then your brain's going pain, 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 right? So what we do is we put pads on two sides of it, and we put that muscle in the elongated pattern, and then start having you do movements through it, and kind of working with it. And what it'll do is it'll start to teach the brain that it's safe to move that joint back into its original position.
A constant state of like, whoa, don't hurt me.
Right. And so people who have had injuries for years and years and have never been able to get past it, they'll do one session of this, and then pretty quick, holy cow, I'm back, because it's putting that joint back into its original state where those muscles are protected. And you can do it with physical therapy, but it takes a lot of sessions, a lot of training. This is kind of a faster way to get there. So
you hear that? Faster way. Everybody wants something faster, now, but this is
I will say you can train with this as well, and it will. You could do 20 squats and it'll make you more sore than you've ever been in your whole life.
Really?
Yeah. Just because, if you put that muscle in the elongated pattern and then you force it through that, you're kind of getting those same muscle fiber tears, just like if you had lifted 500 pounds.
Wow.
So it's a really easy way to get a quick session in. In fact, New Fit, the company, they have a center in Austin, and people just come in and they train with it because it's so much faster than going in and doing
It's not about the time. It's about the results that you're getting from the breakdown, so you can build up, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you can get that muscle building a lot faster. Really good for people who have joint issues, because if you add weight, on somebody, who has a joint issue or arthritis or something like that, then it's going to be really a challenge for them. And this way you can get the muscle fibers strengthening without putting the stress on the joints.
Interesting, because I have an issue with my patella pulling, overcompensating on the quads.
Tendinitis?
So I get tendinitis really bad.
We'll fix that.
So we can get. You hear that? We'll fix that. I love it.
Yeah. In fact, me and Clint both have had those same problems, and we've done a couple sessions with this, and
you're on your way back.
Yeah, you're on your way back, because you're like I said, they're tight, so it's like pulling on the joint, and so now it's not rubbing in its normal pocket, right? And so things aren't aligned, and so now you're getting tendinitis and inflammation. So we work with that muscle and get it to elongate, go back to its original state, and then it lessens the strain on the joint. And then
sounds so simple, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This is awesome, man.
Yeah.
So what else we got?
Okay. All right. Let's come back here.
Okay, you got a grin on your face right now.
All right. All right. So come back here, Kate. We've got a place for you, 135 degrees below zero.
135 degrees below. I'm going to say that again. 135 degrees below zero.
Yeah, and so what we're going to do here is we're going to put Chen in here, and we're going to see if we can turn him into a popsicle.
Nice. A chocolate popsicle.
Right. No, so this is cryotherapy, whole body cryo. This is probably what most people come in here for, and it's just a short-term cold exposure. And basically what we do, we'll have you put on some equipment here in just a second. We'll have you go in here. We'll play a song for you. You just get to stand in there,
Great.
Enjoy the nice cold.
Play a song for me.
But it goes back to that stress response we were talking about earlier, and balancing the nervous system with that stress and then the recovery. So what the cryotherapy does a good job of is it gives us a really nice dose of a hormetic stress. So hormetic stress is like exercise. It's good for you, right? You don't want to obviously be too cold or for too long, but a little bit of cold is going to do us some good, especially nowadays. I mean, we live our lives in such a comfortable environment, you know.
Always.
I mean,
70
we might
degrees
go
and sunny.
Yeah, exactly. We always have 70 degrees, and so we don't ever stress our body anymore like we used to, and so we don't build that resilience in there. And we talked a little bit about brown fat and all that, but this just kind of helps with that conversion and helps give a healthy dose of cold. And so we'll do about 3.5 minutes in here.
3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
3.5
So Jen, you can get ready. We'll have you go in here, get some gear on,
Okay.
and I'll kind of talk
Go
about
ahead and
it a
explain
little
to
bit
these
more.
guys, and I'll just get ready.
Okay, so like I was saying, it's 3.5 minutes. We put a song on in here. You can dance in it. You can move around. This is a little bit different than some of the cryotherapy you may have seen. The cryotherapy in a lot of places uses nitrogen, and it's a sauna that goes up to here. The reason we like this one so much better is because you get your head and your upper body cold. And when you think about it, most of your cold receptors are from the neck up, right? And so like when you want to cool down, where do you put a cool towel? You put it on the back of your neck. You don't, put it down on your leg or anything like that. You're putting it up around your neck. So this one here is, I mean, if you look at it, it looks just like a beer fridge or something like that. You go into those, but it's only about 160 degrees colder. And what we're looking for is somebody to drop their skin temperature. Like right now, we're usually at about like 86, somewhere around there. And as he goes in there, his skin will drop just from that air cooling. So it'll push the blood away from the peripheral. And so like, I was saying with the local cryotherapy, you get that vasoconstriction on the skin, and with the whole body cryotherapy, you get the same thing. All right, Jen. Don't forget the mitts here.
Oh, I get to put the mitts on
Yeah,
as well. Good,
yeah.
good. I'm thinking, wow. Okay, we got the mitts.
Yeah. So this is just kind of an extra layer.
Okay.
And the best thing while you're in there is just kind of move around, try to breathe slow. Just enjoy it. The cold.
Okay.
Do some meditative like experience. But we can play some music. You got a song you want to listen to?
Yeah, let's have a little Stevie Winwood.
Stevie Winwood? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
a little Stevie Winwood real quick.
Now, do you want to take the phone in with you so that people can show it around?
Yeah, I'll take it in for a second or two.
Okay,
you
all
know?
right.
That'll be great. All right.
All right, and then just hand it back to us.
All right. We're going in. All right. So just step right in there, huh?
Yeah, step right in there.
Step right in there.
Here we
Okay,
go.
let's go. Holy. Woo. Yeah, okay. It is cold. I'm going to give them the phone back because I'm going to cry. There you go.
All right, he's in there now. So now we can play a song. He said Stevie Winwood. Here we go. Got to give him a little bit of music while he's in there so he can. Oops. So he's got 3 minutes. How's he doing in there? He hasn't frozen yet. Can't hardly see him with the fog in there. All right, now we got him some music. So, yeah, as I was saying, he'll have that vasoconstriction on the skin. That's really good for the sympathetic nervous system. It activates your fight or flight. You can hear him in there. There you go. Alright, so he's at about a minute and a half now. Getting his groove on now. Let's see. We got some people watching. Yeah. I see him. See his breath in there? Definitely colder than any place you can be on Earth right now.
He's making the best of it.
Yeah. Getting in his groove now. First minute's always the hardest. After that, you settle into it.
All right, 1 minute remaining, baby.
1 minute left.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's a good thing about it. It counts down for him while you're in there, so you know how much time you got left, how much more suffering.
Feel it all over. I want to go longer.
You go longer?
Yeah, let's go a little longer.
Okay, he's gonna go a little longer. Having too much fun.
I'm in now. Woo. All right. Add 30 seconds to that.
Yeah.
Woo. Ah. Okay. Wow. I can feel it in the joints. I can feel it in the joints.
Keep him in there. We'll freeze him.
Man.
He's liking it now.
All right. I'm good.
All right, come on now.
Holy smokes.
All right.
Wow.
So, check his skin real quick. 61. 66 right here. So yeah, got a pretty good drop, about 30 degree.
Probably if I had lasted a little longer,
Yeah, you
probably
can
get it done. I probably could have gone another
Another 30, 40 seconds.
40 seconds.
Yeah.
Wow. Now that was an experience.
Right.
Talk about exhilarating.
Right.
I mean, like right now, I'm like, I may be awake for a while.
Right. No, but that's true. I mean, you'll be awake for a while, but like I was saying, so you get that sympathetic rush, but then after that, your body knows how to reset, and so that's when you get the recovery. When you go to sleep tonight, you'll notice maybe you sleep a little bit deeper. You'll notice like when you go to rest, all of a sudden like you just get more melatonin, you feel better, you just relax a little bit more. And I don't know if you like follow, like I wear a ring and a watch, and I don't know if you pay attention to HRV, heart rate variability, but that'll tell you like whether or not you're stressed or you're recovered, and it'll also tell you like when you should train hard and when you shouldn't train hard. And what we see with a lot of people, myself, is when I do this, and I did this earlier today, my HRV will go higher. What you want, you actually want your HRV, your variability, that means like you can take on more stress. And you want to be able to take on more stress, be more resilient. I mean, recovery is the most important thing after you've trained. I mean, as soon as you get done training, you need to focus on recovery.
My sinuses are like cold as heck
Yeah,
right now. I
yeah,
feel like, oh, wow. My lips are thawing out, so there you go. I can actually speak
Yeah.
without marbles in my mouth. That's
So the other thing is like it's a really good endorphin release. So like you get this real nice boost of norepinephrine, and like if you ever have to study or you ever have to be awake for something and concentrate, this is really nice for that. And like it really helps with like brain synapses and a lot of dopamine production. All that really helps with that too. So
man, this is an experience everybody has to try at least once.
Right.
I'm gonna see if I can work out a deal with you, bro. I want to do this again.
For sure.
Man, we're here at Huemn with my new buddy, Bill
Old
Hanks.
buddies.
Old buddies, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Man, this has been an amazing weekly Warrior Happy Hour, sponsored by Champions and Legends. Champions and Legends produces CBD-based sports supplements for athletic preparation, performance, and recovery. And we're going to be talking to you more about that. In fact, tell me about your experience with CBD.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually love CBD. I mean, CBD, I was just talking about heart rate variability. I notice when I do CBD, I usually mostly use it at night, to help me relax and help me sleep better and all that. And whenever I take CBD and combo that with some cryo, I'm telling you, I'm gonna sleep good and I'm gonna feel good and all that. So I love CBD. I think it's amazing.
Do you recommend it to your clients?
Yes, we do recommend it to our clients. Absolutely, yeah.
So I guess we'll be having champions and legends at Huemn.
Yeah,
Maybe.
sounds,
Okay, we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, thank you so much.
You bet.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
What an experience, guys. We got to go live more often.
All right.
Champions and Legends, Weekly Warrior Happy Hour. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Cool. All right.